Treasuries are well south. Yields have dropped like a brick. Morning, Maverick. Apologies for Friday, by the way. I got stuck a little. Did a silly thing and walked instead of maybe trying to get the tube. Right, let's go live on the old video. Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 6th of January. So, as we move forward, let's have a look at what risk events we got coming out today. Let's just click on the right button, there we go. So, there is not a great deal coming out today that's of significance. So you've got construction PMI 930 for the UK. That used to create a bit of volatility, but hasn't for a long time now. We've got MPC member Broadbent speaking. Could always create a bit of volatility, so that's down not until 11:30. Then really there's nothing in our trading zone, so a quiet day. Before I move away from here, let's just look at the yields. The yields have dropped like a stone on the 10 years. They've literally gone. So well down. This would normally show a softening US dollar, but as you'll see in a second, it's hardly too much softening about this, but some soft numbers coming out in Germany there this morning. Factory orders coming in minus 0.6, which much lower than the 0.2 or so expected. And we're seeing a bit of result, but it looks like last week very choppy price action, not a lot of the action either. The volatility, well, we got that inside range, and it is all within that range last week. Now, whether we're actually going to see something a little bit more significant, let's have a look down across here. That's probably about best place for my trend lines now, here and down here. So wedged in that stage, and well, as I say, just seeing it range bound. It's not the neatest of ranges. It's bit top heavy, but we'll see what it does today. I'm just sort of working. To me, it just still looks soft on the bigger pictures. It looks soft across the 4 hourly and the daily, of course, and it really, I'd like to be on the downside of it, but it's so bitty at the moment. Yeah, still looking very bearish right away across there. Okay, the pound. So the pound has been lower highs, lower lows through on the dailies here. Bearish day on Friday, really sold off on Friday. Last week again, it's into that range we saw, and then really stuck within that range. Again, are we going to see anything more significant in this either way? I'm just sort of looking at it. It's try it. It's got daily pivot, weekly pivot. Maybe these points would give it an opportunity to sell from. At the moment, it's very difficult. When I look at these, I just find if I find it a difficult market to look at, it's difficult to trade. So it's often best giving it a bit of time. Dollar yen. Dollar yen's range bound, has been range bound just as everything else has, and it's just choppy on the 4 hourlies. It's just a right old mix. It's been back to its weekly pivot there through the weekly and daily. Still got a monthly pivot right the way up there to be hit. Personally, I still think it's one of the weaker currencies out there, and we could see a more sustained push up there. Aussie dollar. Now, the Aussie dollar was one of the exceptions. Pointed out its weakness last week, and well, it doesn't seem to be going anywhere else at the moment, but to the downside, softening all the way through here. breaking its range, the Monday Tuesday range was it, and it's broken down. It's softer. A sell point maybe into its weekly pivot there at 70.54ish area. It's currently, well, it's holding up here at this stage. We'll just watch this carefully though. As much as that may be a sell point, well, it looks pretty good actually with a 60-minute 50, etc. If it can make it back to there, so it's a case of a bit of patience with the Aussie. Canadian dollar, high lows, high highs all the way through here. This commodity currency is not really feeling it and struggling to do too much against the US dollar. Again, really rangy week last week. Largely the range was put out. It stayed within it until Friday, but where to today? Well, at the moment pushing maybe back down to its weekly pivot, may have some more legs in it. Daily pivots under there as well, just under, but struggling. One thing that I've noticed, sort of, I suppose, of note is the amount of occasions that it's running towards the upside there and banging on there at some point. Well, if it does manage another move up there, perhaps it'll get a shove through. But is this just sort of weakening what we're seeing here? Let's just take this off and look at the look at the range here. Just looks a bit softer and softer. I'm just using MACD because it's a longer time frame here. It just looks like softness whilst that's been pushing up largely. So exception of that little blip there, but it just looks to me that it could strengthen a little bit for the Canadian dollar, that is, and the US dollar soften as we move through. Right, okay, looking at the other markets, let's look at gold. So gold not really having its own way, although breaking down a little bit last week, but caught the bounce on Friday, and it's again looking at so much chop, bit of a move down, breaking the lows there, more chop, bounced back a bit on Friday then. At the moment, technically to me it still looks soft. A break of these lows here would give us a lower high. We've got the daily pivot below, it's hit the weekly already. Maybe it's looking for a little bit more downside, but on its way up there, of course, it put a higher low in, bit mixed, but you see the higher low here. It's more obvious than the lower highs on the shorter time frame, of course. But really, it just still looks soft to me. In a period, it should be doing quite well. Okay, finally, oil of the commodities. So what we got, lower highs, quite a mess here. Double bottoms almost on the oil price that's come through. Again, range wise last week it tried its best, but generally putting lower highs in, which is quite clear. Not doing a significant amount there. It's just sort of met its equilibrium as I look across here. Maybe a break back, but below the daily pivot there would suggest further downside, but it's just erring, I guess, on the upper side there just. So I'm just sort of looking more positive above 69.50ish area, back above those prior highs. But at this moment, again, as I say, just not showing its hand too clearly. Right, let's move on and look at the other markets then. Switch back to here. Let's have a look then. Let's have a look at the Asian session, what's happened here. Bit of a bounce then last week, and then a sell-off this morning back into that daily 100 moving average. I've been quite bearish on this overall, but it's just remaining quite choppy in the bigger picture. Nikkei, again, it's just consolidating around the lows here. It's sold off again today after 3 up days, but with no mileage in them, not really gaining any traction there. So just looking soft, as I say, it's just not, the market's overall not pushing up. It's sort of gapping down and then closing the gaps by the looks of things. FTSE's off this morning, just opening here, and it's starting off okay with a bit of a run after Thursday, Friday being selling days, but it's consolidating. Let's have a look here. DAX again pushing up this morning, but it just looks so bearish where it sits in this price action. In fact, let's just go back to the FTSE. There's nothing I see immediately, but just seems to be struggling around that 7.2 area. Used to be a major area on the FTSE at one stage. And the CAC, again, consolidation. Of course, we could be seeing a consolidation and a bounce, but to me, the more it consolidates around these markets, the more they consolidate around some near-term lows, well, the more chance they have of rolling over at some point. S&P's 500 here up a little bit at the moment, but again, not really going too far, and all showing lower highs, lower lows. Nasdaq the same, and Dow Jones. So all the three US markets, really, the Dow Jones has been the softest of them all, leading the way to some degree. Went a bit quicker, never recovered to the same amount as the others, and just sort of leading that move down. Right, let's just check. I've got a note there. Let's just answer that. What are your thoughts on this week's inflation data? Expected to come around 7%. The markets will react to high inflation. They will always react to high inflation, but if it's expected, it's normally priced in. If it comes out anything below the expectation, I think it will sell off. I think there is this sort of this point that has been made and been made again and again by the central banks in terms of it could be short-lived inflation. So it might just stifle things. So yes, I think we could get some knee-jerk reactions immediately if it comes as bad as expected there then, but it will largely be, as I say, priced in already. We're talking about it now, so traders will react and the markets will react, but there doesn't seem to be anything in the currency markets really pointing the way too clearly. It's a lot of consolidation. Okay, Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin had mare of a day on Friday, Saturday, pushing right the way down to its prior lows back here. Sunday was okay, but little update, but a bit of a recovery, continuation, but it's just looking soft at the moment. It didn't really manage to gain too much traction, break my trend line too much, and as I say, it's rolled over. Just looking at that bit softer. Ethereum went with it, and as again, what it's done here is put a lower high in, just making it that bit softer at the moment. So there's a common thread through these markets. Ripple, which always struggles a little bit more, has also struggled right over the weekend there. Pulled back quite a bit on Saturday there, but not recovering everything. And then Sunday and today selling off. So softer markets, not looking the best at this stage. Okay, that's it for me. I wish you a great day, and I'll catch you in the morning. Bye for now. There we go.